Let's hear from the man himself, Jake Tapper, who has written this book, Original Sin, President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again. That's the long title of the book. So he did Megyn Kelly's show. Megyn, she's what they call a firecracker in the business. She isn't taking any shit. She's been canceled. She reemerged as an internet sensation. Megyn does very well. And people come out of cancellation in a couple of ways. One is you walk around on eggshells like you're in a minefield. You check every word you say. You're very careful and cautious because you don't want it to happen again. The other way you can deal with it is to really not give a fuck anymore. Speak your mind, say anything you want, and tell people to go fuck themselves when they come to screw with you. So Megyn definitely took the latter route. Take my route. So latter route. And she's from the school of how about you go fuck yourself, which is great. I like Megyn Kelly. She is talking to Jake Tapper here, and she brings up that very point. Hey, what happened? You, Jake Tapper, had guests that were sitting right next to you on live television saying that Joe Biden has dementia, or he's some problem, at least, with his mental acuity. And Jake Tapper himself, the guy that writes this book, is making bank off this book right now. He had to come up with something. Megyn's asking him, what happened? She was sitting, guess it's Lara Trump is sitting next to him saying that we all see it. Biden's got mental issues. And Jake Tapper, now the king of the Biden has dementia, was treating her like a piece of shit. Watch this clip from Megyn Kelly's show. Destroys Jake Tapper, yes.
Leading up to the debate, which you anchored, that June 27th debate, 2024, there was a ton of news leading into that debate in that month. And we looked back at your coverage and found that you ignored it. Not only did you ignore the Jackie Walorski moment when you had him 13 days later, but you ignored the freeze up that he had at the Juneteenth celebration. You ignored what happened at the G7 when he wandered off and Giorgia Meloni, Prime Minister of Italy, had to go find him. You ignored the freeze up at the George Clooney LA fundraiser. You didn't cover it. You only covered it after the debate, after George Clooney wrote his op-ed. Jake, nobody made you do that. There was your network at every turn was telling us those were, quote, cheap fakes. And you were not combating that narrative. CNN was actively misleading us on what our very eyes were showing us.
Yes.
That's the truth. That's the record.
I will acknowledge that after I was named co-moderator of the debate, I tried to make sure that my coverage was fairly vanilla, both about Trump and about Biden, because I just wanted to get to the debate. And, the Biden people and the Trump people, I'm kind of frankly surprised that either one of them agreed to have me as a moderator because both sides disliked me so much. But yeah, I remember that moment. And I remember that moment, the glitch at the immigration event. And not getting much attention outside of conservative media at all. And Alex and I are here to say that conservative media was right.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and oh so entertaining.
And conservative media was correct.
And or just stop it there. Oh, so Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson are saying the conservative media was right. Oh, wow. They were right when they said Joe Biden has dementia. They were right when they pointed out all of these things that Megyn Kelly had listed. Glitches. Oh, he had a little glitch. Oh, old guy, he gets that. Now, Jake Tapper says that the conservative media was right. And that's it. That's all you got to say. Are they right now? When the conservative media talks about the unbelievable amount of waste in this government and corruption, and that Elon Musk and Doge under Donald Trump is trying to clean the crooked mess up in the economy? Is that right too? Because mainstream media is saying, no, that's all a lie. They're cutting Medicaid. They're cutting veterans benefits. So in a couple of years, will somebody from the left-wing propaganda media say, the conservative media was right back then. Yeah, Donald Trump, they were cutting waste, and we did find a lot of corruption, and these politicians were crooked and trying to defend their bankrolls that were coming in every month to them under the guise of programs or foreign aid or whatever it is. Yep, they were right. No, we don't want to wait 5 years or 4 years or 1 year to be told we were right. When too much damage is done, when you don't admit that someone's right and you let the wrong continue. That's the problem. It's not harmless. You don't just say, well, we admit now, got to say, right, the right-wing media was right. They had it down. You don't get to just say that and disavow the damage of having an incompetent president in office for 4 with God knows who at the auto pen. God knows who. We still don't know who was working all the deals, who was signing these executive orders and pardons that have Joe Biden's meticulous mechanical signature put at the bottom of all of them. We still don't know. But, hey, you were right. All right, let's go grab a beer. No, fuck you. Someone's got to answer to this. There was a lot of damage done. And it continues. It continues. We see it every goddamn day. Here's Tapper giving Lara Trump, and it's him right there giving her shit a couple of years ago for suggesting Biden was in cognitive decline. The arrogant. Oh, you were right. Watch him here.
You covered the Biden presidency aggressively throughout the 4 years, and you didn't cover mental acuity hardly at all. I mean, time and time again, when issues came up, you seemed to be running cover for the president. You didn't seem
think
interested.
that's true.
Well,
No,
we'll start with the Lara Trump issue that you referred. Here it is. This happened in 2020.
2020.
Joe Biden, as we all know, has worked to overcome a stutter. How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
Little kids.
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
You are
to
no
watch somebody on stage search for
this is so
questions.
amazing.
You're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you
stuttering.
were mocking his stutter.
Idea, Joe
Yeah,
Biden.
I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no
Jake.
standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline.
And it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay.
That is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel
Lara
sorry
Trump.
for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it. I'm sure it was from a place of concern. We all believe that. Lara Trump, thank you so much.
You.
Do you want to apologize to Lara Trump now?
Look at his face. Look at his face. This motherfucker. Did you see? There he is, Whoopi. There's the guy, one of the hundreds that knew. Where were they? Whoopi asked, where are they? There he is. On a woman that is telling the truth. That was 4 years ago. There she is. Well, there's a person saying that Joe Biden is in mental decline. And there's your anchor man, your newsman, your journalist, full of integrity, telling her, you're no doctor. How do you shut up? He's fine. He stutters. You're making fun of a stutter. How could you tell a little kid with a stutter that he brought out all the tropes, all the nonsense. Children. Try telling a 7-year-old with dementia, I mean a stutter. What a piece of shit this guy is. The fact that he's the one making a fortune off of the lies, the deception that came out of Washington and the mainstream media is an irony unsurpassed. This mother. Oh my God. So it doesn't end there. He did have to answer Megyn Kelly's question. Will you apologize to Lara Trump? He owes her about, I'm sure it comes out of a place of concern. We all believe that. He knew Joe Biden had dementia. And he tries to on Lara Trump, make her look like the stupid, irresponsible one for even suggesting it. And by the way, Biden only got worse over 4 years. And Lara Trump isn't saying anything that we didn't all know at the point she said it right there. She went alone going, hey, I think Joe Biden, really? He looks so sharp. Everyone knew it. And it only got worse over every year. But Jake Tapper waited until it's all over, until after the debate when it was obvious, till after they kicked him out so he couldn't be president, to write a book and make a fortune off of his lies. Off of his lies. President Biden's decline, it's cover-up, comma, perpetrated by me, Jake Tapper, comma, and his disastrous choice to run again. That's how that title should read. Piece of shit. I wonder why I don't have a voice. I wonder. Here's Tapper saying he had apologized to Lara Trump. And watch this.
Do you want to apologize to Lara Trump now?
I've already apologized to her. I called her months ago.
Did already.
And what did she say?
I mean, I don't want to disclose the contents of a private conversation. But
You,
the
Jake.
conversation went well, and she has said this publicly, so I feel fine sharing it. She said that she would never mock anybody's stutter. But I mean, after we did the research for this book,
Enough
and
about
I
the stutter.
realized how bad his acuity issues were. I called Lara Trump and I said, you were right.
She was totally right. Do you want to apologize?
She was totally right. Yeah. And again, he's pulling you were right, Laura. I on you. I made you look bad on television. But hey, you were right. What did it hurt? What damage was done by me pumping out literally government propaganda? What did it do? So we had a completely incompetent, weak president, compromised president in office for 4 years. He has Alzheimer's. You're right, okay? So whatever. What did it hurt? Unbelievable, these people. Who are these people? So if you enjoyed that clip,
Then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.